You're listening to the Redditch Standard Podcast because you have impeccable taste.
Hi there, my name's Ross Crawford and I'm the editor of the Redditch Standard, and welcome to the Redditch Standard Podcast. This week, would you believe it, Claire has gone to Switzerland to interview somebody, but I'm joined by Harry Leach.
Hello.
Hi there, Harry. He's our very own Harry. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. And this week, we were going to ask somebody from the local health trust to come along and talk about coronavirus, which is
very topical at the minute.
It's highly topical. But would you believe it? They just pointed us in the direction of the NHS website for all our advice on coronavirus, how to avoid it, all the sneezes, coughs and wheezes that might infect people. Are you stockpiling anything, Harry? Are you gripped by coronavirus fever?
Well, my girlfriend's probably a little bit more worried than I am, and I was in Tesco last night, and I was going down the aisles, and there was literally one bag of toilet roll left.
You're kidding me.
It was 24 toilet rolls in one pack, and it was £10.50, so I reluctantly bought it. So I suppose we have really. Yeah, we've got a lot of toilet roll in our place at the minute.
So you can't get in the toilet for toilet rolls?
Yeah, exactly. We already had probably 10 to 15 from the previous week that I'd bought. But she told me to pick it up, and obviously people are panic buying. So. It's probably worth it, to be honest. You never know if you're going to get sent home from work or anything like that.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. You were at Tesco. I was at Morrison's last Friday, and there was all this talk about panic buying. And, you know, from the talk in the media, and obviously we're part of the media, I expected the shelves to be well nigh empty, but Morrison's was well stocked.
Oh, right.
People were being very sensible. You know, they weren't buying 100 packets of pasta. They were putting one packet in or whatever. I did see one guy with a trolley with a huge load of toilet paper in it. But he was the only one.
Yeah, I suppose you're looking after your family, aren't you? But it comes across as a little bit selfish, doesn't it, really? You've got to look out for everybody, I think. And to take that many toilet rolls is been a bit silly, I think. But yes, I think with this, the people are panic buying, but I think it's also the products aren't coming into the country as easily, are they? I mean, you had something...
Yeah, that's right. My glasses. I've got these indestructible glasses, and would you believe it, they broke, or I broke them. And the piece, it turns out, that I need, the raw material, comes from China.
Yeah.
And there's just no way that they can get this piece out of China because of the trade block, and, you know, they can't stick it on a ship or on an aeroplane. So it's somewhere, I'm assuming, off in the South China Seas, in a ship somewhere.
Yeah.
So yes, it's bound to affect trade, the way things are going.
Exactly.
But I did check on the NHS website. I took the clinical commissioning group's advice, and I did check on the website. And the symptoms of coronavirus are a cough, a high temperature, and shortness of breath. Now, obviously, that could cover any number of things, couldn't it? And this is exactly what the NHS says. They still don't know how it's spread. So
it could be breathing in, it could be touching things that
it could be
infecting people to touch.
Yeah. But they do say it's very unlikely it can be spread through things like packages or food. And then perhaps most critical, you know, if you're thinking of your girlfriend being isolated, you know, having to self-isolate, it says, do I need to avoid public spaces or public places? ? And it says most people can continue to go to work, school, and other public places. The chief medical officers has raised the risk from low to moderate, but I don't think it's going to sweep the nation. And I believe you've been checking the figures.
Yeah,
for Worcestershire, haven't you?
Well, yes, it's currently at 0. We had heard rumours, hadn't we, that there was potentially a case in Worcestershire, but it appears not at the minute anyway, as of the 11th of March. But yeah, I see what you're saying, but I suppose if you look a few weeks ago, Italy were probably in a similar position to where we are now, with about 300 odd cases, and they've just spiralled out of control, haven't they, in the last few weeks? It's gone up.
I'm going to tell you how many, because I did check this, and 631 people in Italy have died from COVID. Yeah, coronavirus. And I did compare it to road deaths in Italy, and you think, given the outcry, Lombardy or whatever is in lockdown, isn't it, in Italy? And 3,325 people died on the roads in 2018 in Italy. And I can't remember the country undergoing a huge lockdown over this. Obviously, it's an unknown quantity, isn't it? I guess with coronavirus. But it is interesting comparing it to other diseases. I also looked up Spanish flu. Now, everyone's heard of the Black Death. I don't know if many people have heard of Spanish flu, which was something that swept Europe in particular in 1919, just after the First World War, when it killed between 20 million and 50 million people. And I don't think you can say coronavirus is on quite the same wavelength. And so, are you suggesting, maybe, that I should get some more toilet paper?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is that we're very much at the start. I think a lot of people think that it's going to be over in a matter of a few weeks, but I think it's going to probably progress quite a lot here in the UK over the next few months. Some scientists are saying that it's likely to last up to 6 months. So if that's the case, we are very much at the start of it at the minute. And cases seem to be almost doubling, don't they? So initially it was 5 cases, then it was 10, and then it was 20. And that seems quite small in the grand scheme of things. But then when it starts doubling and the 100 to the 200 in a day, then it could go quite quickly.
Well, again, I've been doing my research.
Yeah.
You'll be pleased to know. And, and so far, 324 people have been confirmed as positive for coronavirus, of whom 6 patients who tested positive had died.
Yeah.
And,
all with underlying health issues.
Other underlying health issues, that's right. And, you do get the feeling that perhaps, just pushes people further towards, meeting their maker, you might say, towards death, really, if they've got these underlying health problems. But it is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And I can't help but feel that for our politicians, it's like it's like manna from heaven. Here we got the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, who's been accused of bullying and whatever. And we've got the Brexit negotiations, which aren't going brilliant. We've got a lacklustre Labour leadership campaign going on. And we've also got the Lib Dems. I didn't realise, but until I was reminded, of course, that the Lib Dems also have their own leadership campaign. The SNP have got allegations against Alex Salmond. I mean, this is brilliant for the politicians, isn't it?
Well, it's all going unnoticed, do you think?
Yeah,
it's not the big news.
It's not the big news. It's all coronavirus, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, absolutely right. And as you say, with Brexit as well, it's all we could talk about the last few months, wasn't it? And now it's like nobody's talking about it at all. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like coronavirus is a new Brexit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just extraordinary.
But how do you think that the UK is currently well prepared for the outbreak, or do you think that the ministers and whatever are doing a good job of?
I do. Well, I don't think the ministers are doing a fat lot, actually. I think the chief medical officers, for once we're turning to the scientists, and the scientists seem to know what they're talking about. And, they're up front. They don't know how it's spread. They don't know this. They don't know that. But they're not panicking.
But the message is to remain calm, isn't it?
The message is to keep the toilet paper on the shelf.
Yes. Yes. Well, interestingly, I was speaking to you before about it, but an update. My girlfriend's sister, Kate, arrived back into the UK yesterday, and she arrived from Genoa in Italy. And as you know, it's on lockdown, but she said that she walked through Stansted Airport without being asked any questions or anything like that. So her dad has advised her to stay in an Airbnb for up to 14 days to get tested. But this isn't government. Well, it is government advice, but nobody checked at the airport or anything like that. So you just walk through freely.
That is interesting, isn't it? So she's self-isolating then?
She's self-isolating, yeah, but not on the advice of... I mean, if you go on the NHS website, it will probably tell you to do that, but she wasn't told at the airport or anything like that, which you think you might be if you're coming from... It's in the northern western part of...
Northwest of Italy. I don't think it's as bad as Lombardy.
No.
But
she was explaining that, to even go to the shops during this lockdown, it was just a nightmare. Police were stopping her on the way, asking her where she's going. Only really people are allowed to go if they're on the way to work or essential travel. She had to fill out a form when she was at the airport to explain why she was going back and things like this. This is on Italy side. But then, as I said, when she arrived in the UK, there was nothing.
Yeah, I've got a friend. She was skiing in northern Italy, and no problem.
Yeah.
She was skiing. She came back just before all the ski resorts were shut down, and she's just gone straight back to work.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah. Well, I think is it 4 to 5 days if you don't show any symptoms? You probably say.
Yeah.
Or they say to be on the extra to be extra safe, probably for up to 14 days. But I think from what the research has shown, it's usually about 4 to 5 days when you'll start to show symptoms if you've been affected. So maybe it's my girlfriend's dad's birthday on Saturday, so could be seeing her. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I'm sure she's fine. But again, referring back to the NHS website, brilliantly they say treatment under the heading treatment for coronavirus. It says there is currently no specific treatment for coronavirus. Antibiotics don't help, as they don't work against viruses, and treatment aims to relieve the symptoms while your body fights the illness. So I think this is why perhaps it's mainly affecting elderly people in their 80s, where perhaps their bodies aren't as strong and able to fight off the disease. And it says you'll need to stay in isolation away from other people until you've recovered. But that's if you've got the symptoms, which were a cough, high temperature and shortness of breath. It's all very interesting.
It is. And it seems to vary from person to person as well, how mild or moderate or whatever they get the coronavirus and the symptoms that they share. So I think, as you say, it's dependent on age and things like that. I think they were saying that children appear not to be affected at all. So it's strange.
Yes, and there's loads of rumours going around, of course. I can understand, as you mentioned earlier, why industry's a bit worried. Because, obviously they've got supplies coming in. If the workforce has got to start isolating themselves, I gather that the new Chancellor of the Exchequer is planning to make money available. But at the moment, I think we're doing okay.
Yes. Yeah, I think we are.
Don't you think?
I think we're doing okay.
I think we're doing okay. I think Redditch is doing okay.
Redditch is doing okay.
No cases in Redditch.
No cases in Redditch. Or any local town. Or Worcestershire, is there? So,
yeah, none in Worcestershire.
Yeah.
I mean, you travel in by train, don't you? I mean, are you concerned about sitting in a carriage full of...
Just today I was surrounded by a couple of people who are wearing these masks, but we've been told already that these masks aren't really very helpful, are they? I think potentially if someone is infected they might be, but the people who aren't, who are healthy, I've been told that they're not really going to do much to protect you. So, but it doesn't stop people. I think I've seen a fair few over the last week or so. Even one of my friends wore one as well. So,
it's weird, isn't it?
It is.
I do find it strange. I think in China or Japan, I think it's quite common for people to wear masks.
Anyway,
if they've got a cough or a cold. Yeah, but it's quite off-putting in this country, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What about yourself? Are you worried about any of that?
Coronavirus?
Yeah, you suppose you don't get public transport, do you, into work? But
no, I don't. I mean, I cycle to work, and as I mentioned, road casualties.
Yes,
cycling it does have its moments. Cycling with other road users, but yeah, I mean, I cycle. Everyone's going mad about coronavirus. I mean, I've got conjunctivitis, which so I've been squirting some some lotion in my eye. But, I think I'm on the road to recovery from that. I'm not too worried about coronavirus. I'm worried that people will empty the shelves of toilet paper. People like yourself, and I won't be able to get any when I need it. But I think I did buy a few bags of flour, but I make my own bread. But I stockpiling? I don't think so. I only bought 2 bags. But I'm pretty cool about it.
Yeah. So that's the message: remain calm.
I think so. I think the medics are absolutely spot on, and I think. I quite like the idea of Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, saying everything's, steady as she goes. There's no need to panic.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, and sing happy birthday.
Twice,
20
twice.
seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
And I think if we all washed our hands a lot more, there would be a lot less infections, full stop.
Even seasonal flus and things like that.
I think so. So I think it's just basic.
I think everyone's probably feeling pretty hygienic at the minute, aren't they? Because they probably are all scrubbing their hands, singing happy birthday twice. So
yeah. I was in Superdrug yesterday in the Kingfisher, and they were, people are limited to 2 hand sanitizers each, which you think, is fair enough.
Yeah,
people want to go that far, but good old soap and water. And don't forget the thumbs, apparently.
Yeah, don't forget. And the fingernails, under the fingernails. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, I think we've just about explored all the subject of coronavirus. And we're just going to discuss a few news items that will be appearing in this week's Redditch Standard. Mobile phones whilst driving. We've had press releases from Warwickshire Police and West Mercia Police about the crackdown on mobile phones while driving. I mean, you don't do much driving, do you?
No.
In fact, your car's sat in our garage.
It is. It's a shame people are still doing it. Considering that we've got wireless headphones now and headphones that really should stop people doing this. You can talk on the phone, but you just need to be safe about it. Have both hands on the wheel.
Yeah, well, they're saying even that is a bit of a distraction.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So they're still legal, though, presume?
I gather so, yeah. But, you should be fully concentrating on what you're doing, on your driving. I know I find it incredibly annoying when I see somebody on a mobile phone and they're at the wheel.
Yeah.
Really frustrating.
Yeah.
And
well, I suppose even it's a good point, because you're cutting out sounds of the road as well, aren't you? If you're on a phone call, if you've got your earphones in, and sometimes that could make you more aware of what's around you, your surroundings. So yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I've never really made a phone call while driving anyway.
Well, neither have I. I mean, I haven't got the skills. I haven't got the technical skills to do it. Change gear, hold wheel, operate mobile phone. I mean, it's amazing that people can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Most people can't really do it properly. I don't think they can do it properly.
So what is the advice? Just to don't do it at all?
Yeah. They're saying put your phone in your bag, put it in a glove box, don't touch it. And, enjoy the drive, really, rather than do 101 other things.
Or the company that you have in the car, if you do.
Yeah, well, exactly. Moving on, we've got an update on Ulster Court Leach.
Yes, what's been happening there?
Well, if you recall, last year at the annual election of officers, I mean, I didn't know this at all, but women not only can they not stand for election to Ulster Court Leach, but they can't even vote in the election of officers. Which you think, okay, that was 2019, but in 2020, because the situation has carried on, I find that astonishing.
It is, yeah. Unbelievable.
It is. Absolutely. The women they're discriminated against. They haven't got a vote. So Ulster Court Leach, it's kind of the head man of Ulster Court Leach is the Marquess of Hertford, who sits at Ragley Hall. That's his pile, and the atrociously named Equality for Ulster. These are the campaigners. They've written an open letter to the Marquess and the High Bailiff of Ulster, Paul Stevens, saying let's have a talk about this, because it's 2020 and really this is a crazy situation.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of wait and see
what happens from there.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't given in to pressure so far, have they? So we'll have to see what happens with this.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems bizarre. They're really digging in their heels, aren't they, the court lead? And
what is their stance on it? What's the reason why?
Well, from what I gather, it's tradition.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Fiddler on the Roof there. I don't know if you've seen the film Fiddler
No,
on the
I
Roof.
haven't, no.
Where tradition, it's all about tradition.
Yes.
But they've got to bend the rules slightly because tradition's got to give way.
It does, yeah.
Yes, it's about tradition. But Equality for Ulster say they love the Court Leet and want it to continue. But they do point out that Ulster Court Leet only operates through an Act of Parliament from 1977, I think. And, it's all about equality in 2020. And why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Finally, just to round up this week, don't forget it's our Baby of the Year competition. It's happening now. It's in the Kingfisher Shopping Centre, and it's the 20th anniversary. I didn't realise that until this morning. But yes, it's the 20th anniversary of our Baby of the Year competition. Andrea Powell, who's a professional portrait photographer, she's in the Kingfisher right now, and she's taking lots of lovely pictures. Those pictures will appear on our website, and we'll be inviting you, the people of Redditch, to vote for your favourites. And it's a fantastic competition, and there are some great prizes to be won. And I think that's about it.
Yes. Yeah. If anyone needs to get in touch with us, they can do. My email address is harry.leach, and that's Leach, @bullivantmedia.com.
And I'll give mine. It's ross.crawford@bullivantmedia.com. You can contact both of us at editor@redditchstandard.co.uk. You can call us on 01527 588 697. Harry?
And mine is 01527 588 621. So please do get in touch with your stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to stay right up to date with all the local news at www.redditchstandard.co.uk. My name's Ross Crawford. I'm the editor of Redditch Standard. Thanks to Claire, who's done all our entertainments. Thanks to Harry for coming in and talking about coronavirus. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.